The immortal John Hancock here, and today I'm sharing a very special package from Japan. That's right, a fan of the channel, Brian G. He lived there a couple years and he collected and amassed some oddball items, and I'm really excited about sharing some of these on my channel. They're really oddball, and so, you know, if you're into collectibles, if you're into weird stuff, boy, this video is for you. So he sent me a very kind letter, and I'm going to read a part of it, and then I'm going to get right into what he sent me. So, hello to the immortal John Hancock. I'm Brian, and I currently live in Japan. I've been here for about 3 years, enjoying my time near Tokyo, visiting the secondhand shops, and adding to my own game collection. I want people to enjoy these old games, a piece of history for years and years. Absolutely. I can't wait until the museum comes. Me either. That's right. So, you know, it's going to be a long time coming. The museum's not going to be overnight. And these are the types of items that I want to share and talk about on this channel as well. You know, talk about, you know, these are items you can't find in the States. And there's some cool things in here. And I'm going to try to showcase everything that he sent me as best as possible. So here we go. First thing up is Family Basic. Now, it was a way where you could create sprites and things. It worked with the original Famicom, and you could do other things too. It could also, with certain games, Wrecking Crew, Mach Rider, and Excitebike, you could create custom tracks and then save it to audio cassette. And it was just a strange accessory. You know, it came with cables. It came with, you know, a manual. There's also additional things, additional programs you could do. And just what a wacky, bizarre thing to come out. And it's really cool. I'm really happy to have this. I didn't have this in my collection, and it's really neat to see this. This looks like an advertisement. It's pretty sweet that that was included. Very sweet. Very neat to see this. And pretty awesome. It's pretty neat. The keyboard itself, pretty decent shape, and nice to have that. Excitebike is such a fun game, and I remember that the Famicom disk system did a better job at creating saves, but before that you could save tracks using this device. Only on the Famicom though. It doesn't work with Nintendo because of the way it's hooked up. Alright, up next was the ASCII keyboard controller for the Gamecube. And this thing is huge, and it's pretty much combining a keyboard and a Gamecube controller together, mostly to play Phantasy Star Online 1 and 2. And this was huge in Japan, and you know, I remember seeing this actually sold when the game came out, and I considered it, but I ended up not getting it. I just figured, I don't know. The keyboard, you know, the keyboard itself, the keyboard controller itself is in kind of rough shape, but that's okay. I was thinking maybe fixing it up. I don't know if Retro Bright will work, but it's yellowed, which a lot of them get. And but it came with some replacement parts, which was kind of cool. And you know, it's something that I don't know. I wonder if this can be cleaned up and restored back to normal color. Pretty interesting, and definitely have to check that out. But the box is in nice shape. Very cool. Alright, this is a pretty bizarre accessory, and what it was a wireless communication unit for the new Geo Pocket, and this was only in Japan, I do believe. And look at this device. It's got like a cable and it holds, and then there's like I guess that's like the antenna. And I'm sure that one of this was, you know, ways of exchanging multiplayer function wirelessly. Oh man, times have gotten so much better. Pretty strange, and it's complete in box. Very cool, and wanted to share that. That is really bizarre. I didn't even know this existed, and you know, this is something, you know, this is the type of accessories and things that we never got here in the States, and so really cool to see this, and it's in really nice shape. And thank you so much for sending this. This is really cool. Man, it's really cool he sent this, and it's Policenauts for the 3DO. And this is a graphic adventure game, and you know, I'm blown away that he sent this. And so it's in really great shape, has a spine card, has the manual, both discs, and including, I do believe, warranty card. And one thing that this came bundled with was a mouse, and it's compatible with the 3DO mouse, and really sweet to see that. And so just neat to see this game finally in my collection. I didn't have it, and so really cool to see this. You know, things such as hooking up consoles to get a great picture on our TV are taken for granted now. You know, a good example of this is a PC Engine back in the day. There was only one way of hooking it up. And so NEC changed that by offering the AV Booster to offer people to hook their consoles up to wonderful composite video. That's right. And so that's what this does, and allows it to be hooked up with the red, white, and yellow cables back in the day when that was the best you could do. And so it's pretty sweet that this little accessory is in its box. And so I actually have a couple units that I think are compatible with it. All right, this is another strange thing he sent, and this is a Game Boy Advance TV Tuner with all the brand new items. It doesn't look like it's ever been used. Pretty bizarre. And so, yeah, it comes with a power adapter and all this stuff. I'm just like, you know, I remember a lot of these devices coming out, you know, in the early 2000s. Like, you know, that was a big craze of getting TV to work on your handheld. And it's like, it's so funny because, like, you know, this essentially I don't think can be used anymore. You know, switching over to digital. But, gosh, it takes me back because I remember these being advertised everywhere. So very cool, funky accessory to add to the collection. Up next is 4 items for the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance. And pretty interesting and bizarre oddball game items. And so this is a import e-reader. I have the complete US collection, but I don't have the e-reader from Japan. So very sweet. And this device, you were able to play games as well as scan specific cards made for it. It was ahead of its time, pretty interesting. I remember being the cards being sold here and at Toys R Us, and it didn't do too great. And so yes, a lot of the games that were marketed for it were like just early Nintendo games. And so yeah, pretty cool. I actually have a Game Boy Advance bundled with an e-reader as like a bundle. Pretty cool. All right. So next up, this looks like some type of way where you could get email and text through your Game Boy Color. I don't know a lot about this item, and so yes, I'm asking you folks, what is this? What does it do? Love to hear more about it, and that's pretty cool. And so going back, gosh, the 90s, you know, this was all the rage, you know, this, and I am gonna admit this, I had a yellow pager back in the day, and that's the first thing I thought of when I saw something like this. Lots of things that we did for communication. All right, so actually Sega made, this is really bizarre, so they made a Game Boy Advance e-reader card themselves, but it's not compatible with e-reader games. It was for their own games. And so pretty neat that it's the, you know, the Sega card reader, and pretty cool. Thought I'd showcase that. And then this is AM3. This is like a movie player, and so they sold this to watch movies, and they used a special, you know, I don't know how big this is, 4 megabytes. So 4 megabyte. Gosh, that's so funny how times have changed. But yeah, you slide that in, and then you pop it into a Game Boy Advance, and you can watch movies. And I'm sure that has not aged well. Awesome. Up next is a PS2 Linux Beta Release 1 with a PlayStation 2 hard disk drive. And, you know, this stuff was for hobbyist coders back in the day, you know, and a lot of people got excited about using these, where, you know, there was a small community, I think, that still continues to tinker around with this. But yeah, this is pretty bizarre. You know, this is just one of those things that, you know, came out, was utilized, and often the hardware is forgotten about. So it's really neat to have this in my collection. I didn't have it, so very cool to add this to my PS2 collection. Another cool item that I didn't have in my collection, and it's the Biosensor. They came bundled with Tetris 64 in Japan. And this is a truly bizarre accessory that you would connect to your earlobe, and it would monitor your heart rate, and that would determine how well you do in the game. It has like some type of interaction. I definitely want to check this out sometime. Of all the things sent to me, this was truly the one that like intrigued me the most. You know, of course it's made for a Nintendo product, and so this is the type of bizarre stuff that I love seeing in my collection. And you know, has anybody out there played with this thing? It's like, I can't wait to check this out. This is truly bizarre and something I can't wait to check out myself. Last and definitely not least is the WonderSwan Color Final Fantasy Edition. Really cool that I have this in my collection. It's a really gorgeous shape. The actual unit is in great shape. Now, there were several versions of the WonderSwan, the Final Fantasy bundles for the WonderSwan Color. You also have, this is a weird accessory called the Wonder Wave, and it would clip onto the WonderSwan on the side here and communicate with other devices. And so you also had the link cable, and that was cool to play head-to-head with all 5 people that had the WonderSwan Color. And so, yeah, it's so pretty neat to see, and also having Final Fantasy 1 and 2. Very cool. And this is an oddity. This did not sell well and was exclusive to Japan. So very cool to have this. So thank you, Brian G, for the wonderful package. Most appreciated. These are the types of things I like to talk about, collect, share. And you know, I can't wait to one day have these on display somewhere. This is the type of stuff that's a conversation piece. What the heck is that? I love getting that reaction from people, you know, or they remember something. You know, some of these items I've never seen in person, so it's really cool. So most appreciated. And thank you for people continuing to tune in to my channel. And I'm almost there to 80,000 subs, and then moving on to 90,000 and hopefully 100,000, and have many more videos planned. I've been having this set aside to do a video for a while. It's hard. I had a couple different ideas of showcasing it. I thought I'd just showcase the package, talk a little bit about it as best as possible. Which thing was your favorite? Comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Again, thank you so much. Folks are awesome. This is the immortal John Hancock. You take care.